Love is the foundation of a long-term relationship, and date nights are a fun way of keeping the romance alive. And you don't necessarily need to be making reservations at expensive restaurants either. Why not try Yudhika's suggestions for a romantic dinner at home? And here's what she has in mind.
I'm most often cooking for a crowd, but every now and then I take some time out to prepare a memorable meal for two. When preparing a romantic meal for two, you might be tempted to serve little plates of food. But food is much like love and should be shared in generous doses. I'm preparing a hearty, indulgent meal today, and on the menu we've got marinated brinjals going with sautéed prawn. For the main course, oven-baked crayfish and on bed of exotic mushroom pilau rice. And for dessert, chocolate fondant tarts. Let's get cooking. I've got some sunflower oil going into a preheated pan. The mushrooms going in. These are shiitake mushrooms. Just pop them down. And this is shimeji. Use a wooden spoon and stir that around. Don't add salt at this point. We don't want the mushrooms to ooze moisture. There's a bit of color on these mushrooms. Move them over to the side of the pan and lift them out the hot oil. Once you've removed the mushrooms, add the onion to the pan. A teaspoon of coarse salt going in as the seasoning. I'm using stock for this recipe, so take care not to over season. To the onion, add chopped carrots and chopped leeks. Stir those ingredients together until the carrots soften slightly. To this, add some garlic and a little chili. Mix those ingredients together, fry them off. Now add the uncooked rice. Gently stir the rice grains into the carrot, onion and leek mixture. I'm using homemade stock for this recipe. If you're short on time, you could always use the store-bought version. Pour the stock in and leave that to simmer until almost all that moisture has evaporated. We've got some soft butter here. I'm going to add some coriander to this, a touch of garlic and some chili. Use a fragrant spice just to add a bit of zingy flavor. Use a tablespoon and work those ingredients together. Add some salt to this butter. Mix that in. And now gently scoop some of that mixture into each crayfish shell. The buttery concoction melts. It starts to cook off with the shell and the juices drip into the rice, which makes it an irresistible meal. The butter's on. Let's check on the rice. It's absorbed the moisture, still a little left in the pot. Add some cream. The fried mushrooms going over. Lay the crayfish on top of the rice. And now some pepper going in. That should do it. This goes into a hot oven at 180 degrees Celsius. For the marinade on the brinjals, I'm starting out with a bit of olive oil. To this, add a touch of garlic, some coriander, adding some honey as well, a cheek of lemon, squeeze that into the marinade, and some salt. Use a tablespoon and work those ingredients together. This is what I call my golden marinade. Works really well over a butternut salad too. I've grilled these brinjals already, and all you need to do is spoon that marinade over the brinjals. The sweetness of the honey is going to really work well with the chili prawn. Now, sunflower oil going into the pan. Turn up the heat. Cumin seeds going into the hot oil. To this, curry leaves. A touch of garlic going in. Stir those ingredients together. Fry off the garlic slightly. Next, I've got shelled and deveined prawns going to the hot pan. Season the prawn with some salt and add some red chili powder. Gently toss the prawns in the chili, garlic and curry leaves. The prawn should take 60 to 90 seconds to cook. Make sure they don't tightly coil, because that means you've actually overcooked them. Place the prawns next to the brinjals. You almost want them to be in the same marinade as well, so the flavors infuse. I find a heap of prawns absolutely irresistible. The starter's ready. I'm going to serve it at room temperature. Now to get going on that luxurious chocolate fondant tart. I've already creamed some butter. It's light and fluffy. To the cream butter, add 125 grams of icing sugar and gently mix that together. Icing sugar melts into the butter quite quickly, so you don't have to cream for too long. Let's add some vanilla essence. Work that in. Add 2 egg yolks. To this, add a touch of flour to prevent the mixture from curdling. Work that in. Now to add 2 whole eggs. Once again, a touch of flour as well, making a little whirlpool in the center of the mixing bowl and working the egg, butter and sugar together. I've got some melted dark chocolate here. To melt this, I've used 70% dark chocolate and I've melted it over gentle simmering water. Swirl the chocolate into the butter and sugar and eggs. It looks like a marble chocolate mousse. Fold in the flour and the cocoa powder. Just work that through. This batter looks absolutely decadent. It's going to make the most sultry chocolate tart. I've got some greased and floured tart tins here. They have a loose bottom, as you can see. Let's place them here. And now spoon the batter into the tin. I've placed 4 scoops in each tin. Let's flatten that out. Pop these into a roasting pan or a baking tray. Bake this off in a hot oven at 180 degrees Celsius for 8 to 10 minutes. Those are the chocolate fondants. They're ready. They should be slightly wobbly in the center. These have cooled down slightly. And put that onto the plate. Icing sugar going on top. Some chocolate sauce. And I've got some Italian kisses here. Just chocolate coated ice cream. And I'm going to pop that over. These are going to melt and ooze into this chocolate fondant. Sprigs of mint to garnish. This is a decadent chocolate tart, so I'm going to serve one, and I've made another one just to show you what it should look like on the inside. I'm delighted with this chocolate tart. It's molten and gooey, which is just perfect. Let's get ready to serve. This meal definitely celebrates joy, happiness and love. After all that cooking, it's time for me to unwind, relax and indulge in this luxurious feast.